Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high-performance computing. Today my guest is from Dell. We have Jimmy Pike. He is a VP and Senior Fellow and Chief Architect of the Enterprise Group at Dell. Jimmy, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Well,
how are you?
I'm good. You know, I am so excited about supercomputing. I can hardly sleep. And here we are about a week out. And I thought we'd take this chance to kind of talk about what's going to be going on at the Dell booth at SC14.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we're excited as well. As you can imagine, the last-minute preparations that always seem to happen before a show like this are well underway.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are involved in a lot of things besides the booth, even like student cluster and all this other business. So I'm sure it's a busy time.
Yeah, yes, it is. And, you know, we're really focusing on the things that we're going to present, the things that we're going to show, the announcements that we're going to make. And I think all in all, it's going to be quite a show. I'm always enjoy the supercomputing because it is always a real who's who and a real eye-opener of the technologies and things that people are trying to do and the problems people are trying to solve.
Yeah. So I imagine you'll be in whisper suites and things like that. But in the booth, you guys have been kind enough to invite me back to host a couple of panels this year.
Yes, the two panels, and we're really looking forward to them.
Yeah. You know, I know most of these folks personally, so why don't we go through this? I mean, the first one is about HPC in the cloud, and I love this title. The overcast has cleared, Jimmy.
Well, yeah, you know, we see this is I think a really relevant question for everyone who's doing HPC. What is the application of the public cloud? And I'm really excited about the panel and the discussion that's going to be there because there are a lot of people who have practical insight on what's possible and what's not a good idea. And if there's anything I hope that we bring away as a source for our at Dell, it's really practical understanding of what you can do and what may not make sense today so that people can go back with a real idea of how they should approach these problems. I think HPC in the cloud is on everyone's mind.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense as a delivery model, but it's kind of lacked behind the enterprise adoption that we see out there. And
yes, I agree.
Yeah. But looking at these panelists, I mean, okay, first we got Muhammad Atif from NCI in Australia. I know those guys, and Larry Smarr, who's kind of a legend in the HPC space with roots all the way back to NCSA and the birth of the internet. You know. Wow, if anybody could talk about this kind of thing, it would be these guys.
Especially the guys at UC San Diego, yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. And Roger Rentala, another speaker I've met before, and he's seen his talks. He's at Intelligent Light, and Boyd Wilson at Clemson. So really, I think it's going to be a fascinating talk.
Yes, it is. And I've been with all these guys recently, or at least Clemson and UC San Diego, so I'm eager to see how what they will enlighten us with, especially about practical aspects of what you can do in the cloud.
Yeah. And switching gears at 3 o'clock, and this, by the way, I should have mentioned, this is on Wednesday, November 19th. We're going to be in the Dell booth. And you guys got two theaters, but we'll be in the Beignet Theater, where they serve beignets after the talk. So looking forward to that, Jimmy. But I wanted to talk about the second panel, which is data-intensive computing, the gorilla behind the computation. And what would how would you nutshell this one for me?
Well, you know, that's I think the title is well taken.
Yeah.
The gorilla behind the computation. Data-intensive computing, especially when you look at where we're going in the world today, the amounts of data are staggering.
Yeah.
And so how do you deal with that amount of data? And as we look at what we're able to do, especially with high-performance computing going forward, and the demands that we're going to need, the ability to do things that are very, very fast-paced and much quicker than we've been able to do them in the past is going to be what our customers are going to demand. So that leads to a lot of serious questions. What do you do with the data? How do you manage the data? How do you deal with this huge amount of data? And God forbid, the life cycle of data.
Yeah, and looking at the panelists again, you know, you got primarily university folks and even Texas Advanced Computing Center. So kind of the people leading the frontiers of this kind of technology.
Yes, we have a very close relationship with all these universities.
Yeah.
Especially TAC. They're a backyard customer, so we have a really intimate relationship with them.
So Jimmy, I understand you guys are going to be having two theaters in the booth besides the one I'm in. You also have a Chicory booth theater that's going to have constant customer talks all through the week.
Yes, sir. This is one of the things about supercomputing. In fact, those of us who attend supercomputing, basically we attend supercomputing, but we never get to see the show because we're always busy talking to customers and making sure that people have the information they're looking for. So I'm excited about that. We're going to make a couple of announcements in our booths for some things that really are germane to high performance computing and big data as we go forward.
Well, I'm excited to hear the details of that because ever since Dell made its transformation to a private company, we've been waiting very patiently to see where the future is headed. So I'm hoping you can tell us more about that next week.
Yes, we just had our Dell World, which is the Dell convention, and we had a lot of insight about where Dell's headed, the future of HPC, and I hope to enlighten the audience at supercomputing equally.
All right. So that's it, folks. We have a booth 1739. That is the Dell booth. We're going to have 2 panels on Wednesday, November 19th. The first one starts at 1:30, and the second one starts at 3 o'clock. And we're going to be posting all the details on insideHPC. And Jimmy Pike, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you. I was delighted.
You bet. All right, folks. That's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on high-performance computing.